So far we've gone over two different ways that you can install Magento, through the online installation wizard and via the command line interface. At this point, we are ready to continue configuring our Magento server. In this video, you're going to learn about the multi-store mode that Magento offers. We're going to be setting up multiple storefronts that will be managed from the same Magento backend interface. Let's get started. We are going to start things off in the Magento admin. We configure our multi-store setup by navigating to System, Manage Stores. On this page, we can declare different websites, stores, and store views. In this example, we will be adding two new websites to our Magento system, one for selling gizmos and another one for selling widgets. We start by clicking on the Create Website button and filling in the form fields that appear. The website name is what you will see in drop-down lists throughout the Magento admin. The code is how you can refer to the website programmatically. Sort order is optional, and if you leave it blank, the websites are sorted by alphabetical order. Next, we need to create a store container for our Gizmo website. Clicking on the Create Store button takes us to the form where we select the website and the root category for this store. Again, when we name the store here, this is the value that will appear in a variety of drop-down menus. The last thing that we need to do is create a store view. Click on the Create Store View button. The form we see is very similar to the last two. We select our store that this view belongs to, give it a name for the drop-down lists and labels throughout the admin, and provide a code so that we can programmatically refer to this store view. And of course, you want to enable your store view. Take a moment to do the same thing for the widget website. Make sure to use different codes for your website and store views. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Now that we have our websites created, we need to set their front-end URLs. This is done by navigating to the System Configuration and changing our current configuration scope to our website. We then need to navigate to the General Web tab and change both the unsecure and the secure base URL. We do the same thing for our widget website. At this point, we have our multiple stores set up, but they're still not accessible in a web browser. Before I show you how to set up your web server to route requests to the appropriate store, let's take a look at how Magento's index.php file is handling these requests. If you use your terminal and open up the Magento index.php file, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see two lines where Magento is determining a mage run code and a mage run type. As you can see, these default to a blank value for the run code and a value of store for the run type. This is going to run the default store. But you can also see in these lines that Magento is looking for a server variable called mage run code and mage run type. We set up those variables in the Nginx virtual host configuration file. That file is in etc nginx sites available Magento. The first thing we need to do is add our host names to the server name line. We also need to add some lines to the beginning of this file outside of the server block. These lines map the host name to a particular mage run code and mage run type. This is only giving us a variable in Nginx, so the last thing we need to do is pass those variables along to PHP. I already have these lines in here and commented, but if you don't, you would have to add a fastCGI param line that passes the mage run code to the mage run code PHP parameter. So once I save this, the last thing I need to do is restart Nginx for those changes to take effect. I also need to make sure that I have the proper host names configured in etc hosts. That completes the multi-store setup. Our website should now be visible in the browser. You can see that both sites still have the default theme, so let's change one. Now the widget site has the modern theme, and the Gizmo site remains the same. So let's recap. First, we configured Magento by creating websites, stores, and views in the admin. We also changed the base URL in the system configuration. Next, we edited our web server configuration so that we could map host names to store run codes. With these changes in place, we successfully set up multiple storefronts hosted on a single Magento server. Coming up next, we'll start learning how to extend Magento through custom programming, so stay tuned.